there, Capricorn, and welcome to Bon Tarot. I am here with your December 2020 Astro and Tarot reading. For just general, so I'm going to cover all the bases, just your general story, and your relationships and your career. So I'll also have an extended reading available for you, Capricorn, and the link is just down below in the description box. To my Patreon site. But I'm going to do something a little different for you because I'm actually really excited for you. This is kind of like graduation day for Capricorns generally. Saturn is about to leave your sign, and Saturn has been with you for almost 2 years now. And Saturn has been teaching you a lot of lessons about your identity, about who you think you are, and chances are that you are a very different person than you were 2 years ago. And you've had to go through a significant number of challenges in order to arrive where you are. So, but there's an extra special influence on you, Capricorn. I mean, we've all been influenced by this particular transit, but especially you and your fellow cardinal signs, which are Aries, Cancer, and Libra. The cardinal signs are the signs of leadership. So, but for you, Capricorn, this particular transit, and I'm speaking of Mars and Aries, which has been happening from June 27th and it ends January 6th. That's because we had a retrograde period between September and November. And that's why Aries or Mars has been in Aries for so long, is because of that retrograde period. So the cardinal signs, because Aries is a cardinal sign just like you, have all been affected especially, and it's been hitting in your 4th house, which is your house of home and family. So you've had a lot of challenges around that, and a lot of big lessons around family and home. So I just wanted to, put that out there in terms of what your focus has been for most of this year. So the good news is that, as Mars escorts you, out of your time with Saturn, I anticipate, and I've been saying this for a while, is that Capricorn is likely to have one of the best Christmases of your life, because school is over and you've learned your lessons and you've integrated them into your experience and you're applying them, because that's Saturn's job. And also you've had Jupiter with you for the last year in addition to that. So it's kind of magnified Saturn's effects. So if you've been feeling kind of pushed to your limit, the first time that I was aware of what it felt like to have Jupiter in my sign, that was maybe about 20, 25 years ago. I felt like a helium balloon expanding, like it was tight, like to a certain degree. It was like, can I hold all of this energy and all of the stuff that's coming at me right now? It's the inhale. So, but Saturn's dynamics and all the lessons that it's been teaching you in your sign has been the constriction, and you've felt obstacles were in your way of what Jupiter has been trying to get you going. So once both Jupiter and Saturn, after this conjunction, move their way into Aquarius, you're going to feel a lot less pressure, a lot less, restricted, a lot less confined to really hard life lessons. So congratulations, Capricorn. You've come a long way. So now that I've given Capricorn your little thing, because I think it's really important to celebrate that you have finished your Saturn cycle and you're ready to put those lessons to work. So, first event is actually November 30th, but we're all still being affected by this because this is eclipse season. So eclipse season means points in destiny, karmic stuff, and you roll it all together, and depending on which sign all of these things are happening in, or which house in your chart, it's going to have a different effect. So I've been giving each sign the rundown as to what each one of these events means for you. So Capricorn, this first event, November 30th, you would have been dealing with issues around your day-to-day routine. And you're probably having to be really patient around things that were preventing you from grounding new routines. And you know, that this is part of the lesson, especially if your routines are dovetailing within your relationships, which often they are. So the second event is going to be December 14th, which is this coming Monday from the time that I'm recording this. So, so beware of the temptation to retreat, to feel your feelings. You know, you probably want to get out and, you know, don't go in your shell. Don't get into a Cancer frame of mind, because that may actually cause more problems for you in the long run. And then on the 21st, because Jupiter and Saturn are aligning together and moving into, from the last degree of Capricorn into Aquarius, that means that those two planets are now moving into your second house, which is your house of finance and in values. So it's Venus rules that house because it's Taurus, and so your challenge, where Saturn is going to start teaching you now, and not quite so heavily, you know, as it has been in your first house, is going to start teaching you to be more disciplined with your money. So Capricorn, that is the Astro forecast. Ah, yes. Now we're going to go to the tarot and take a look at what the energies are for you for the month of December 2020. So there we go. And 3. Okay. So, yeah. Oh. So there's definitely a feeling of being in the flow and then off, and then in the flow and then off. And this is Saturn and Jupiter's energies being especially potent because they're coming together. So the whole collective are feeling these things, but you know, you're feeling it more pronounced than other signs because both of those planets have been in your sign and are just about to leave. And that's when a lot of the energies are felt a lot more. So what do we have in terms of the surrounding energies for you, Capricorn? We have the Two of Pentacles. So the Two of Pentacles is about balance again, and finding balance, I'm thinking, in your routine. And you're kind of feeling like you're juggling a bit, you know, and that the day-to-day responsibilities are interfering with what you really want to, you know, put your focus to. So I'm going to read the center card, and we're looking at the Hierophant. So, you know, you could have a Taurus in your life. This could be about commitment. This could be about a deeper spiritual place that you're getting to inside. Let's take a look at the recent past. We've got the King of Swords, got the Page of the Knight of Pentacles, sorry, and the Magician. So you're definitely working towards manifesting something. Perhaps you could be manifesting a commitment in your life. So the King of Swords right here, this could be just communication, but it also could be an air sign. So that could be a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Masculine figure somewhere in your orbit. We've got the Knight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles can represent an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But it's but the Knight of Pentacles is not in motion. The Knight of Pentacles is often associated with Taurus, who's really the slowest sign out of the zodiac to make a decision. They really like to take a look at the landscape and get a really good idea as to what's happening in the environment around them before they actually take action. And then we have the Magician. So like I said, you know, there's manifestation. You've been working on manifesting, and you know, you're at the top of your game in that respect. Saturn has really been guiding you towards being able to manifest things you know, a lot better or a lot faster in your life. So at the top of your reading, we have the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands is that, you know, I'm not going to give up, but I am tired. And, you know, burnout is definitely a risk factor here. But let's see what we have on the bottom. So on the bottom, we have the Six of Wands. So, you know, Capricorn is usually pretty hard on themselves, you know, being the sign of work and discipline and all that. And, you know, Saturn is your ruler, if I'm not mistaken. So with that being said, you know, you may have actually achieved success, but a part of you thinks you're still in the fight, that you haven't reached the finish line just yet. So yeah, we've got the King of Cups, we've got the Death card, and we've got the Moon. So the King of Cups is a masculine influence that is emotionally available. So that could be you. You could be in a really emotionally available place. The Death card, while it can mean death in the literal sense, I prefer to refer to it as transformation. And because we're at a point in time where we are forced to transform things. So if there are things that Saturn's been trying to teach you and you haven't really been following the lessons as closely as you should have, you know, something may be transformed for you. And the Moon may be the trigger for that. So let's just take a look underneath here. We've got the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, I think whatever the situation is that's coming for you in terms of a transformation, I think it's going to lead to a new passionate beginning. You know, we've got the Page of Pentacles, so a message may come in that balances everything out. And you've got the Ace of Wands, so a new, fiery, passionate beginning. All right, so I'm just going to take a couple of cards and clarify each column. But I will go deeper into this reading for the extended Capricorn. And like I said, the link is down below. If you're finding that this reading is resonating with you, you can get a subscription on my Patreon site. And that gives you access to all of my extended readings. So, yeah. Okay, so let's see what... Okay, there may be some pain around this situation. There's the King of Swords, which... Yeah, the King of Swords. And the Five of Cups. And the Ten of Swords. Okay, so Capricorn, you may have one final lesson, but it's like if you've been approaching a situation from a more intellectual standpoint, one of the other things that the energies that are happening right now that are happening to force all of us to open our hearts, to actually be operating from our heart space instead of our ego or our attachment to the way that we think things should be. And sometimes when we have to walk through that truth, you know, we have to go through a grieving process because maybe we were holding on to some sort of illusion. And with the Ten of Swords being placed over here, I mean, I said this, I think, in Sag, is that when you've got the 10 of anything, like there isn't an 11. So it's like, perhaps you know, you've been approaching a situation from your mind, and you're and it's not really turning out the way you wanted it to, and so you're feeling depleted, like I've given everything I know that I have. And now you're in your heart space, and you are all of a sudden emotionally available because of the grief, which may be triggered by the moon, and at which time, you know, it may be time to take a rest. You know, and but there's someone who has something significant to offer, because there's a fish in the cup, right there. So the other thing that may be affecting you, Capricorn, is yeah, it's like these are just your illusions. You're not losing anything except for your illusions. And your illusion is that you're losing something. Does that make sense? So, you know, you're going to have to realize that it's all in your head and turn it around, because the anxiety is not necessary, because the new beginning is right around the corner. You know, just in the same way, you know, the new beginning, you've got the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. Your beginning is here. Your dreams are coming true. And, you know, you have control. The illusion is that you don't have control. Or maybe control is the wrong way to look at it. Maybe your dream is here, but you're still trying to control it, as opposed to just allowing it to happen and allowing it to be what it is. So, all right. So, yeah, I went a little further on that. I will go deeper into this story in the extended reading. So I'm going to leave that for now. So let's take a look at, we're going to take a look at my love deck. And I'm going to do a mini spread that is, a mini spread that is kind of like a sample. Sorry, I'm a little bit distracted by the story. A little sampler of my relationship diagnostic reading. So I'm pulling one card for you. So that's for you. One card for your partner. And one card for the relationship. And surrounding energies. So let's see what's happening. Fear. You're not the only one who's getting this card, Capricorn. In fact, I believe Sagittarius got this too. So you may also be dealing with the Sagittarius somewhere in your world. So you are naive. And you know, it's the illusion. So that's pointing to what the cards are already saying. Your partner is falling in love, but maybe you can't see it because you might be trying to control it intellectually. The problem is you feel like you've made a mistake. But that's the illusion. It's your fear. It's your fear, and it's your cynicism, and it's your expectation. And the only way to solve this problem is to be more playful and more erotic. So I'll go deeper as well into this and clarify these cards more, but I think you get the idea, you know? It's like you have something in your hand and you're afraid that it's going to slip through your fingers. It's not going to slip through your fingers, Capricorn. Because your partner loves you. So, you know, you can stop being this guy or this girl. You know? and realize that you need to approach your relationships from your heart and not from your head. So, Capricorn, let's take a look at your career and finance situation. I'm using my most prized deck, which is my Distant Early Warning deck, or Dewline deck, made by Marshall McLuhan back in 1969. And I'm still learning cartomancy, but Marshall was kind enough to put quotes on the cards. And I'm not going to interpret it too much. I'm going to leave the abstract that Marshall usually presents up to you to interpret for you and your situation. So we've got: a Japanese wife never speaks irritably to her husband. She merely rearranges the flowers. So, I'm just going to leave that with you. But I will pull one card for you from the Rider-Waite Tarot deck to get a little bit more insight into Marshall's card. So, for career and finance, well, maybe love is tied into everything, or maybe you can't see anything right now except for the love that you got going on. You know, whatever that is worth to you. But yeah, it's about love for you. And it's about old patterns of thinking about relationships that you have to let go of. We all are letting go of something, Capricorn. You are not alone. You're not alone. And in fact, you know, you're working harder than most of us. Okay, so there you go. Living large, lighten up. Lighten up, have some fun. You know, stop thinking about your expectations of something or the way things should be. You know, this is a challenge for Capricorns everywhere. I have a Capricorn moon, so I can relate. So it's time to have some fun. It's time to lighten up. It's time to trust that the people around you are people that you can trust because they love you. Somebody's fallen for you big time. So, you know, make sure that you're not looking through your own programming so that you can recognize the genuine love that's sitting right in front of you. All right? So, Capricorn, I'm going to leave you here. And if you want to join me over at Patreon, I'll be going a little deeper into at least the relationship and your original tarot. And I'm also going to be pulling some Lenormand cards to take a look at your long-term outlook from the perspective of this month. So, Capricorn, thank you once again for joining me. And if I don't see you over at Patreon, if this reading did resonate, please share, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you again.